Hello, I am Yasuyuki Nemoto, advisor to IHM Company and Office Masaru Emoto, and a representative of Life System Laboratory. On October 16 and 17, the World Water Festival will be held by IHM Company. I am grateful to those of you who are supporting and joining this festival. Thank you very much. Now, I think that many of you know it. Unfortunately, Dr. Luc Montagnier passed away on February 8th this year. He did a great work on water memory. So this time, IHM Company asked me to make a video message in memory of Dr. Luc Montagnier. In this video message, first I will explain briefly about Dr. Montagnier's research on water memory. Then I will talk about his recent comments on COVID-19. I will also mention his personality, as I was fortunate enough to meet him a few times directly. So first, I will explain to you about Dr. Montagnier's research on water memory. As many of you know it, Dr. Montagnier received a Nobel Prize in Physiology and Medicine in year 2008 because of his discovery of HIV, the causative virus of AIDS. Yet, very unfortunately, he passed away on February 8th this year at the age of 89. I will explain only the important points of his experimental results described in this paper of Dr. Luc Montagnier. The title is DNA Waves and Water. Okay, first I need to explain what is PCR. And nowadays, you know the PCR, at least the name of PCR. If there's even one single molecule of the DNA in the test tube, and then if you add a PCR reaction mixture to this DNA solution, then you'll get many copies of DNA molecules. So even one single molecule of DNA will be multiplied or amplified into like 1 billion times or 1 trillion times. However, if there's no DNA at all in this test tube, and even if you add the PCR reaction mixture, and if you perform the PCR, then you'll get nothing. No DNA will be amplified. So this is PCR, which is actually polymerase chain reaction. If there is even one single molecule of DNA, then you'll get many, many times more of DNA. But there is no DNA at all, you'll get nothing. Okay, then I will explain about Dr. Montagnier's experimental result. First, he made a DNA solution. And in this case, the length of the DNA is 104 letter long. And as you know, DNA is made from 4 different chemical letters, which are A, T, G, C. And here, this is just an example. And from the terminal, the sequence of the DNA is A, T, A, G, C, T, A, C, C, G, like that. And the total length of this DNA was 104 letter. And Dr. Luc Montagnier found that some very specific electromagnetic waves were emitting from this DNA molecule. And so this is the electromagnetic signals. And briefly, I would say EMS, electromagnetic signal. And also he found that the range of the frequency of this electromagnetic signal was between 500 and 3000 hertz. You know, hertz is a unit of the frequency, and it means how many times the electromagnetic signals are changing, per second. Okay, then at the next step, he, this is a DNA solution that he made in a previous slide. And of course, he found that some specific EMS was emitting from this DNA solution. And then he put pure water next to this DNA solution. Pure water did not emit any EMS, of course. But after 18 hours, he found that this pure water was emitting this specific EMS also. This is very strange phenomena, but this was a fact. He found this fact, this phenomenon. And so it seems that the electromagnetic signals from this DNA solution was somehow transferred into this pure water. And pure water somehow started to emit the same EMS from this, from itself. Then next, here, this is pure water, but it's started to emit EMS because it was placed next to the DNA solution for 18 hours. And what Dr. Luc Montagnier did at this step was he did a PCR on this pure water. This is because pure water, no DNA was contained in this test tube. So it would be impossible to get any DNA molecule from after this special reaction. But he found a lot of DNA molecules after the special reaction. This is very, very surprising, amazing, and it's very difficult to believe. But this is a result by Dr. Luc Montagnier, and he first checked the length of the DNA molecule, and he found it was 104 letters. It was the same as the original DNA molecule, which was, I showed you in the first slide. So PCR, with PCR, DNA was somehow amplified from nothing. It was called DNA teleportation. He checked the length of the DNA, and it was 104 letters, and it was same as the original DNA. But then the big question is sequence of DNA molecule, of this DNA molecule. The sequence of this DNA molecule is same as the original DNA or not. And so he did DNA sequence analysis, and he found the DNA sequence. This is, for example, ATAG, ATACCG. But originally, it was, like just one letter was different. This is just an example. But anyway, the DNA sequence of this DNA was 98% the same as the original DNA. So only 2 letters were wrong, but the other 102 letters are the same as the original DNA. This result is amazing, but Dr. Luc Montagnier repeated this experiment 12 times, and he got the same result always. And then this is very amazing result again. And what he did is at Laboratory A, this is Dr. Montagnier's laboratory in Paris, France, and he prepared DNA solution first, and then he put the DNA solution inside coil, and the DNA solution is emitting the EMS, the wavelengths, frequency of the EMS was between 500 and 3000. And he used the amplifier, and because the frequency range was between 500 and 3000, he used digital music recording system. And digital music or digital sound system, you can record the frequency range between 20 hertz and 20,000 hertz, because between this range, you can hear, it's audible frequency range. And so he used the digital music recording system, and he recorded the EMS from DNA onto digital file, like a wave file in this PC. And he sent the digital music file to other laboratory. And other laboratory is actually in Torino, Italy, I believe. And they received this digital file from Dr. Luc Montagnier, and they played the digital file using Windows PC. And the output was connected with another coil, and they put pure water into this coil. So this coil is like a sending antenna of a cellular phone. And so this pure water received the electromagnetic signals, which is actually the DNA, the EMS emitting from this DNA. Okay. And then what they did in Italy was they did a PCR reaction. And so what's happened? They found many DNA molecules from this pure water after PCR reaction, and DNA sequence of the DNA was the same as the same original DNA which Dr. Montagnier used in Paris. Okay, and here this is a TV program made by a French TV station, and you can watch this documentary film on YouTube. The title is, in English, "Recovery of Memory of Water." And this documentary film is made in French language, but there is a English script, subtitles. Okay, and here I will show you some hard copies from this documentary film. And this person is Dr. Jacques Benveniste, and he passed away also, unfortunately, in the year 2004. And he was actually a pioneer in the research area of water memory, and he published his paper in Nature in year 1988. But very unfortunately, after his paper, many other scientists objected to his discovery. So he passed away in a very sad situation. But anyway, here, this is Dr. Luc Montagnier, and Dr. Montagnier visited the Benveniste laboratory after Dr. Benveniste passed away. Okay, and Luc Montagnier, he actually succeeded, the Jacques Benveniste research, which is an area of water memory. And here, this is the scene from Dr. Montagnier's experiment, and he's recording the EMS, electromagnetic signals emitting from this DNA solution. And here, this is in Italy. They are playing the digital file using this PC to this coil, and they put water into this coil. So this water will be receiving the specific EMS electromagnetic signals, which was originally recorded in Dr. Montagnier's laboratory. And this is in Italy. They played the digital file using Windows application. Okay. And here, this device is actually the device for PCR reaction. And here, the next one, this is a result of the gel electrophoresis. And it's relatively easy to find out the length of the DNA molecule, and they found that the DNA molecule, the length of the DNA molecule was 104, and which was the same as the original DNA, which Dr. Luc Montagnier used in Paris. And here in Italy also they analyzed the DNA sequence, and they found that the sequence was also the same as the DNA that Dr. Montagnier used in Paris. So this is a conclusion. Dr. Montagnier demonstrated the followings. First, the information of DNA can be transferred to water as electromagnetic signals. And second, the information of DNA transferred to water this way can be rematerialized. In my presentation, I explained the result in which Dr. Montagnier used PCR, but it's not necessary to use PCR. If there is a living cells, then living cells can rematerialize the DNA from electromagnetic signals. Okay, anyway, it shows that the error is coming when water becomes a drug, medical drug. And Dr. Masaru Emoto actually predicted this kind of error will be coming, in which water becomes medicine. Okay. And then, so this is a summary about the new science of water. Water has the following two functions. And first one, this is by Dr. Luc Montagnier's experiment, that water memorizes and transmits information. And the second one, this is actually by Dr. Gerald Pollack, that the water stores and converts energy. And I believe that these two functions of water are the most fundamental in life, and that they will become very critical in biology, medicine, and pharmacology in near future. Then next, I will talk about the personality of the late Dr. Luc Montagnier. And actually, I had a chance to meet him directly a few times, and I respected him so much, as he was always sincere in science and talking only the truth. Okay, and I will show you that Dr. Luc Montagnier's comments at the French TV program, which was 2 years ago, April 17th in 2020. And then this is a tweet from Luc Montagnier, actually, on January 16th this year.
Montagnier! 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 Montagnier!
Ok, vado avanti. Il n'y a pas d'études.
So actually, just this year, January, he visited many different cities in Europe, in Italy or like that, and then he talked about his opinion about vaccine, and he was welcomed so enthusiastically by many people. Okay, and then this is also a tweet from some other person, and I just picked up this tweet because here this is Super Mont, not a Superman, but Super Mont, and Doctor of Steel. It's a parody of Man of Steel. And he's saying, thanks to the doctor, a great doctor who always honored the Hippocrates Oath. And he mentioned the Hippocrates Oath actually in the previous video. Okay, and then very, very unfortunately, he passed away on February 8th this year at the American Hospital of Paris. But the cause of death is not publicized. And then 2 days after he passed away, this is the tweet from Luc Montagnier, actually the team of Luc Montagnier, and they are saying, hope it would not stop what he started. Okay, then finally, this is my message to Dr. Montagnier. This is my memorial message to Dr. Luc Montagnier. I believe that he was a genuine scientist, talking only the truth always. He was saying that the research area of water memory is worth exploring because its mechanism is mostly unknown. He talked about the truth even on the novel coronavirus and its vaccine without any consideration on the unreasonable pressure given from outside. Even he was thinking that the sequence of DNA or RNA can be modified by vibrational techniques. And the late Dr. Masaru Emoto was also thinking in the same way. And also I believe the same thing too. We needed to continue the work that he had been doing. That is the memory of water. And finally, may he rest in peace. Okay. Thank you for your attention. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.